Imagine a day when the ordinary becomes the extraordinary, a day when anything is possible. One day, just shy of 3 years ago, I lay under a tree. The day is beautiful and warm, and the tree is full of light and green. Oh, so much had been happening, and my heart and my body had been shaken and channeled through a myriad of emotions. My soul is tired. And on this day under the tree, I just allowed myself to relax. I let go. In a swift shift, an image rose from my feet, came up my right-hand side and came menacing and confronting in my face. I was well tuned to this image, for it was the moment that my heart had shattered and heaven had opened up. It was the day that the ordinary had become the extraordinary. It was the day, months before, when I had gone to wake my 10-year-old son to find that his soul had taken flight in the night, that his heart had stopped, and that he had let go. Sage was my best friend. For 10 years and 11 months, we navigated the world of life, love, and learning. In truth, I believe Sage was a little old man trapped in the child body. And most of the time he was parenting me. It was in his passing that I learned that Sage was and is my master teacher. Together, we navigated this world, and together as two souls that didn't quite get each other, we travelled forward and found enough love through our challenges to grow up together. Sage had a crazy, wild imagination, and his imaginings to him were real. When he was about 8, going on to being 9, Sage decided he was a famous inventor. Now for him, this was a very real thing. All he had to do was wait to grow up. Sage became so attached to this dream. I began to fear for him. Like, it was an impossible dream. And I feared that his heart was going to be broken. And so I gently tried to make some space around this dream, tried to bring a little bit of reality in. And each time, I was met with possibility and the correct answer by Sage. To him, he was a famous inventor. There was no doubt in his dream. He was a famous inventor, just a very short one. And so I let go. I let go of the fear. And in that moment, I became the mother of a famous inventor. The impossible dream, when the ordinary can become the extraordinary. Lessons from my master sage are now gift wrapped in grief. Grief is my new best friend. At first I didn't like her. I wouldn't let her sit with me. She was not allowed to hang out with my friends. But grief, dressed all in black, with wings that are far and wide enough to hold you, is a persistent bitch. And gently, she teaches. Her first and favourite lesson: let go. Grief for me has been a series of surrenders. not very long before my son passed, I asked for an opening of my heart. I felt ready for more love. And so death comes a knocking and smashes my heart into tiny little pieces. And what I discovered in that is that a broken heart can never be closed. And an open heart, even one that is smashed to pieces and broken, has the ability to invite magic. In the days after Sage passed, I saw magic everywhere. I had a direct link to heaven. And the ordinary became the extraordinary. There was wonder everywhere. But that day under the tree, that's when the haunting began. Because red hot anger strutted in and buddied up with grief black bitch, and they taunted me. The image would come back again and again, and each time it came, it grew in strength. I refuse to be haunted. I wish for magic. Knowing I couldn't change this on my own, I sought the help of a trusted therapist. And working over time, using hypnosis, I transformed that image from one that came to scare and haunt me to an image of me standing on a cliff, arms open wide, looking out over the world. From this place, I felt calm and centered. I let go. From this place, I heard Sage say, all the love you have for me, give it to the world. Now the trouble with grief is you can't put grief to bed. You can't check to see if the homework's done or if enough vegetables have been eaten. But grief will sit with you, and she will be your friend and hold your hand and remind you that you love. Because truly, all of our stories are love stories. All the love you have for me, give it to the world. Like, seriously, how do you do that? And so I surrendered further. Within 6 months of Sage's passing, I'd sold my house, donated or given away most of my belongings, and I said goodbye to the life I had known. And I journeyed out into the world to give my love away. And a new message appeared from Sage. Just go, Mum. So I journeyed out. And what I found when I was out there was a repeated message from Sage, the reminding of the belief in the impossible dream. And it was this belief and Sage's creativity and imagination in flight that led me to create my honour piece for Sage. Together with my creative companion and my long-term colleague, Hayley Linthwaite, we created the Imagine a Day project. The Imagine a Day project invites the children of the world to imagine a day when anything is possible, when the ordinary can become the extraordinary. It invites them to believe in their impossible dreams. The Imagine a Day project was launched in Sri Lanka at the Galle Children's Festival in January 2014. And since then, we've been to Brazil, Australia, the UK, and more recently, Kosovo. So what we do is locally we work with the local artists, teachers, activists, community workers, and we teach them how to engage children in creativity and imagination. For our trainees, it really is a lesson in listening to children and to see them as our master teachers. Our trainees then work with the children locally to invite them to imagine a day, to imagine a future that they want to see in 30 years' time. And what what is it that the children want to see? What do they want to create? And once they have decided on that creation, we ask them, what is the affirmative step you can take to get closer to that future that you want? The children we have worked with, they want this. Playgrounds without policemen, no violence, some flying cars, enough medicine, food and water for everyone, and most of all, the children ask for peace. Working on the project gives me some peace, but really it's grief in action. It's me finding a way to give all the love I have for Sage out into the world. Working on the project is painful. When the project launched in Sri Lanka, I was in outrageous pain. It was exquisite. I was so lucky to be supported by an amazing team of artists who are my friends. The amazing artists from Belapitia Black Box Theatre. My friend Sapun, on the first workshop, costumed up and transformed into a life-size grandfather puppet. When the children arrived, they were transfixed with the magic of him. And I allowed my heart to ease and to delight in my new beautiful trainees as they delighted in inviting the children to imagine a day. At the end of the workshop, all of the children sat at the feet of the grandfather puppet, and one by one they went to sit with him and they told him what is their dream. If they could be anything, if anything is possible, what is it that they wanted to be? And one by one the children went and sat with grandfather, and one by one the children were applauded. And from a distance, I saw Sage. I saw Sage sit with grandfather and tell him in his affirmative voice that he was fabulous inventor. And so each time I work with a project, I cry and I laugh and I delight and I dream. It is grief in action. And slowly it is transforming me. And my hope is that it will transform a little bit of our future. So far, the Imagine a Day project has trained over 50 people in how to creatively engage children. And our trainees have invited more than 300 children to Imagine a Day. Imagine a day when anything is possible, to believe in their impossible dreams. Next, we hit New York City, followed by Spain. After Spain, the rest of the world. Last month I was in Kosovo working on the project, and it was there that I received my next lesson from my master teacher, Sage. So Sage is so entwined in the project, which is so beautiful. But then I also realised that because he's so close, the possibilities are limited in that. And I heard Sage say again, as he does, "Just go, Mum." And I stayed a little bit longer, and then it transformed. "Just let me go, Mum." And I let go. And the space that was created was beautiful, because in that space I saw a flood of children swimming. And so I sat with that, and grief came and sat with me. And she wrapped me in her wings. And I just let go a little bit further and absorbed my lesson. And then grief whispered to me, remember to believe in your impossible dream. Today is Sage's birthday. You would have been 14. On this day, Sage doesn't get to grow up anymore. But on this day, and forever on this day, is the day that I gave birth to a famous inventor. And so I invite you all to please believe in your impossible dreams and to imagine a day. Thank you.